Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Rock and Rap Connection. Now, uh last week was episode 1, but my co-host wasn't here last week, so I'm going to introduce you to him this week. And welcome Chris to the show. How you doing, boss? How's
What's
everything
going
going?
on? Last week, had some issues here at the home, but
It's okay.
I'm all good this week, and I'm ready
Yeah.
to join the Rock and Rap Connection.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, just to start off the show, I'm gonna send, or we want to send a rest in peace to Jeff Beck. So
Yes.
rest in peace to him, and my condolences to his family. Yeah. Not to start off the show on a somber note, but he was very influential within the
Oh yeah.
music industry as a whole. So,
A
just
hundred
wanted to,
percent. I mean, he was part of the Yardbirds,
yeah,
the Jeff Beck group. I mean, he was around since like the '60s, bro. I mean, he
yeah,
is an amazing guitarist, and I mean, 78 years old. I still feel that's way too young.
yeah. Yeah,
Way
I,
too
I,
young.
I agree with you, and yeah, I've heard some of his music, and it was even motivational to me too. So to hear that, so like just before we got on here, so yeah, I just wanted to send out a rest in peace to him, and condolences to his family, and so now that we've done that, um do you want to start off on the rock side or the rap side, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I'll start off on the rock side.
Yeah,
Just a brief little introduction for those who may not know why I'm co-hosting this with you. I do host a podcast called Motley Metal. It's strictly a rock and roll podcast where I talk some shit, I'll give some news, and I'll play some fucking hits, and
yeah.
which led me to coming on to here. And I got some rock news for you guys today. Um, Metallica has their world tour coming up. It's their M72 world tour, which
Ah,
is based off of their latest album. Well, they just released single day tickets for their tour, which they'll be touring with Pantera, Five Finger Death Punch, and pretty much a who's who of heavy metal.
right.
Um, the single day attendees though will miss out on opening acts, which
Okay.
would be Pantera, Five Finger Death Punch, because they don't repeat. Now there are still 2 day tickets available. If you go to their site, Metallica.com, you'll be able to find all the tickets as far as VIP packages, 2 day tickets, and single day tickets, where you kind of pick your own date, which is really weird. And with the whole what was it? The whole what was that? A website that was selling the tickets, and they had the whole Taylor Swift fucking thing going on.
Ticketmaster. I think it was
There we
Ticketmaster.
go.
No.
Yeah, so I noticed that a lot more people are kind of doing it on their own now through their own
Yeah,
websites now
yeah.
because
That's
of
true.
that whole
That's true.
debacle. So if you're interested in seeing Metallica on their world tour, if you want to see where they're going to be in a city near you, go to metallica.com/m72-info. That'll give you all the info on the whole M72 experience, which they're saying is probably going to be one of their biggest world tours to date.
Yeah, I'd expect. I expect that tour to sell out very, very, very quickly. So
Oh yeah, oh
it's
yeah.
in it.
I mean, I did want. I remember Motley Crue. They were going to do their stadium tour, and
Yeah,
then they canceled it during the pandemic, and then they put it
yeah,
back on, and I kind of missed out on that. So hopefully, I'll be able to see at least Metallica live, and I've never really been to a big concert like that, so I'm hoping I'm able to go to that.
okay,
And speaking of concerts and tours, Twisted Sister is going to be doing a one-off reunion tour this year in 2023,
yep,
and they just revealed who will be playing drums for them. All
okay,
right, and it's going to be part of the Metal Hall of Fame ceremony, and the Twisted Sister is calling it a career. They're finishing up,
okay,
um, and The person that will be playing drums for them would be Mike Portnoy. Joining Steve Vai and Mike Portnoy would be AJ Pero. So he'll be the drummer for the performance at the ceremony. And this is huge. If you don't know Twisted Sister, I mean, for me, my first experience to glam metal, glam rock. Like, they
Okay.
were that first experience. And they pretty much, like, I've always felt like Twisted Sister was kind of like that, in a weird way, a professional wrestling type band. When you look at their
Yeah.
outfits and their sound, that we're not gonna take it.
Yeah.
I feel like that whole '80s metal vibe kind of just goes
Yeah.
with pro wrestling. And I've always been a huge fan of Twisted Sister. I mean, if you look at me at shows, I'm wearing nail polish. I wear lipstick. I mean, they are a direct influence on me. So,
Okay. Okay.
um, the fact that they'll be performing at the reunion show at the Hall of Fame ceremony, I mean, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, really, you hear a lot of these new bands coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these older bands now starting to do more tours, and it's
Yeah.
because the younger audience is starting to hear their songs on music, on television, in movies.
Yeah.
So it's now this younger generation wants to know who Twisted Sister is, who Motley Crue is, who Metallica is. I mean, Stranger Things when they did Master of Puppets,
Hmm.
they wound up being number one on iTunes and Apple
Yeah.
Music and Spotify
Yeah.
right after that episode aired, and it's this whole new generation of kids who are finding this music, and I just love it because I think a lot. I'll be honest, a lot of the music that's out there today, whether it's rock, hip hop, I honestly think it's trash. So
Okay.
that these kids are actually looking into going into these older records and listening
Yeah.
to them, man,
Yeah.
it's sweet.
Okay. Speaking of older bands, I have a question for you now. Speaking of older bands, how do you feel about bands like Nirvana and Linkin Park? For,
We'll start off with Nirvana.
yeah.
Nirvana came out around the time I was born in 1990, so they,
Yeah.
they
Me
they
too.
were around. I was like 2, 3 years old when they were starting to like really hit the seed.
Yeah.
And I caught the later end of it,
Yeah.
unfortunately with Kurt Cobain's death. But like the newer generation, I was able to go digging through the crates, as they say, and,
Yeah.
and finding these records. I actually have a shitload of vinyl records with me. I got the
Ooh,
Nirvana
nice.
Lithium LP, and I
Yeah.
have the Nevermind, the actual album record.
Yeah.
With my record player and everything. So I think that style of music was a huge influence on me, especially becoming a professional wrestler. I
Yeah.
grew up watching Raven, and
Yeah.
Raven used to come out to Nirvana songs and Offspring. So kind of like that whole grunge attitude kind of developed me as a persona as a professional wrestler.
Nice.
And Linkin
Nice.
Park now. Now when we get into Linkin Park, that's definitely like my era. I was in middle school when Linkin
Yeah.
Park came out.
Yeah.
I mean, they got me through middle school and high school. I was a huge fan. I don't know if you remember, MTV used to have a show called Made,
Yeah.
where
I,
they
I
would,
remember
yeah,
that. Yeah. I remember that.
okay.
Yeah.
I legit applied for that.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you did.
because I was like, yo, like I knew all the lyrics to Linkin Park songs. Like I was like, yeah, like I wanna be on that. I was like fucking
Yeah.
like what 13,
Yeah.
14 years old. So, but Linkin Park is another huge influence on me.
Yeah.
Chester Bennington is an amazing artist.
I love him. I
And
love him. Yeah. Yeah.
bro,
He's the best.
I mean, it's sad that that he's gone now, but
Yeah.
um, Linkin Park was that band for me that there was not a song that they put out that didn't touch me, that didn't reach to me. So it
Yeah.
was like that was if I have to say like during your teen years, what was the main band? Linkin Park all day, every day on my CD player, bro.
I agree. So here's two things that people don't know, probably don't know about me. So my favorite Linkin Park song is called, I don't know if you remember this, but my favorite Linkin Park song is called "Somewhere I Belong."
Oh my god, I fucking love that song, bro.
Yo,
Off the
when I heard
Meteora
that, I was like,
album.
yo, this is actually pretty good. This is actually pretty good. I love that song. And
Yeah.
people don't actually know, probably don't know, I don't know if you know this, but they did a whole tour and a whole thing with Jay-Z as well. So
Yes.
that is
Yes.
the thing that got me listening to Linkin
I could
Linkin
see
Park
that.
as well. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
for me, I grew up in New York, Brooklyn, New York. So I grew up
Yeah.
listening to a lot of that East Coast hip hop. I mean, Jay-Z, Biggie, Mobb Deep,
Yep.
Nas, Big
Yep.
L,
Yep.
fucking. I mean, so that's what I grew up on. So when Linkin Park teamed up with Jay-Z to do that mashup album they did,
Yep.
I mean, it blew me away because I was like, here we
Yes,
go,
sir.
where we're taking these two genres that I like,
Yeah.
and a band and an artist that I grew up with, and
Yep.
here they are mixing their music together. And I honestly don't think another rock band and another rapper could have pulled that off.
I don't think so. The only thing that I know of that I'm aware of in terms of rock and rap is like when Eminem like sampled for 8 Mile for the 8 Mile movie. He sampled one of the songs. He sampled Aerosmith, right? Right.
Off the Eminem Show album.
Yes. So
That when that song dropped too, that was another one that I instantly heard the riff,
Yep.
and I was like, yes, no, I'm before he even fucking spit a verse, I was like, I'm on it, I love it,
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
So
But
Aerosmith, Linkin Park, and Nirvana are like three of my rock influences that people may not. And
I'll
that's
tell you
something
something about
that people may
Eminem.
not know about me.
If you listen to, especially a lot Eminem's later albums, he samples a lot of classic rock music.
He does.
It.
Yeah, he does.
And it's crazy because when Eminem was coming up, like it was like rockers kind of didn't like him until
I know
he did the song. What was it? He did. Fuck was it? I don't know why I'm going blank now. I am the way I. There we go. The way I am. When he did that song, I mean that got played literally in New York on K-Rock. Like that was getting played literally, and it's funny in his song, he says, "They got me rotation on rock and roll stations," and that song is getting played on rock and roll stations. And then he did a remix with Marilyn Manson.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that he did a remix with Marilyn Manson, and so like again, it's like that whole. I like when they blend the rap and the rock. I mean, because those are my two influences.
Yeah.
And again, you have Jay-Z, you have Eminem, Linkin Park, Nirvana, Aerosmith, which I mean, their catalog is fucking insane. Another band where I could sit there and look through all their songs and I'm like, okay, that, and there's no miss for me.
No skips at all, man. No skips at all. That's crazy, man. I wish. You know what? I wish there was another tour where we can blend, or I wish they can make another tour happen where they can blend rock and rap together again, and because that was crazy. That time period was crazy, man.
Well, you know another band. Well,
go ahead.
I'm gonna say band.
Go ahead.
When Limp Bizkit came out.
Yes.
I mean, Limp Bizkit was like that fusion where it was kind of like, for me, it was kind of like that. It was like corny white boy rap, but The Rock is what kind of like solidified it.
Highway to Hell. Actually, speaking of wrestling and blending everything, Highway to Hell is actually my favorite song from them. I think they used it as a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam. I don't remember which one it was, but
you're thinking AC/DC.
Yes.
I think the song you're thinking about is My Way.
Yes.
From WrestleMania 17.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm a fucking encyclopedia of useless knowledge.
Sorry about that, man. Yeah, you're right.
My Way. WWE fucking use a lot of this. They use My Way. They use Rollin' for Undertaker's theme, which is funny because I'm actually like just. I've literally watched like every episode of Raw. I've been watching for like the past 6 months. And
really?
I'm up to 2001 now. So
you're doing every episode from every year.
Oh, legit.
Wow.
Bro, I watched from 93, I'm up to 2001 now, bro.
Jesus Christ. Wow. But I don't think I would be able to do that anyway.
I'll tell you, honestly, I fell asleep through about half of those episodes, bro. I'll wake I'll wake up and it's like 3 or 4 weeks later, and I'm like, okay, I just missed like a month, but all right, I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Literally, the invasion angle just ended, and they're bringing in NWO, so that's that's where I'm left off now with that.
Okay. Despite what people say, Invasion was pretty good though, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, yeah, I think it was,
Now we were just speaking about catalogs, and
yeah,
there's something that was brought up by our producer Carl here with Dr. Dre.
yeah.
Why don't you give a little spin
Oh,
on
yeah.
that?
So actually, I posted that link. So I'm gonna, yeah. So just going to the rap side of things. So just breaking news today, actually, or yesterday, late yesterday. Apparently, Dr. Dre is selling his almost his entire catalog to Universal Music Group and Shamrock Holdings. So for people who aren't aware, in regards to the music industry as a whole, but especially on the rap side, there's a lot of artists who are selling their catalogs to different investment funds and hedge funds and everything, but they're doing it for a very specific reason. It's not like they're selling their catalog. They're actually allowing themselves to make money off selling the catalog because as you know, everything builds as you sell it, really, to be honest. So it's like they're making money off of selling their catalog, and these blog sites are making it seem that they're selling it just to sell it. But that, again, like I said, that is not the case.
I like that you cleared that up because when I first seen the news,
Yeah,
I was like, Dr. Dre selling his catalog. Like, what has he like done? Like, is he?
yeah,
So of course that like you said, that's what the blog sites really make it seem like. Oh, he's
yeah.
selling his entire. When really, when you think about it, it's kind of like he's more leasing it out. You know?
Exactly. It's basically leasing it to basically anybody who wants to use it. So anybody who wants to use the beats and stuff, they can use it. But Dr. Dre is essentially making money off them using it, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not really selling it, but they phrase it as Dr. Dre is selling his catalog, but it's not really the case. He
No,
wouldn't.
yeah.
Nobody would do that. Nobody
See
would
the
just
whole
say,
the whole
sorry,
digital
nobody.
media.
Yeah,
The whole
yeah,
digital
yeah.
media age has kind of changed the whole idea of record labels and contracts. Now you don't need a fucking record label. You
I
don't
know
need
you
a
don't.
contract, you know? So that whole royalties thing, I mean, the game has changed so much. And I think this is a kind of another way of advancement of, okay, I can kind of sell my music
Yeah,
without losing my rights to my music.
exactly. That's exactly what it is. And thanks for the clearing it up, Mr. Carpenter. You're the best, man. So thank you for clearing it up. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
That's exactly what it is.
No, this is but this is good. This is kind of good news
Yeah,
because now what it does is it doesn't just kind of lock you into just getting these songs or going through his catalog
yeah,
through just a publisher or in just the record label now, where you can
exactly.
only find it on Spotify. You can only now it's these like you said, these hedge funds and these investments that now they have access to this, which
Yeah,
Dr. Dre is still making the money off of.
right,
And again, I think this is going to be kind of the new wave now of
exactly.
being more independent.
Right.
And everything, like I said, everything now is do it yourself. From creating music to even having like your own little label. Like you don't need shit. It's all do it yourself.
Yeah,
And I remember back in the day, like do it yourself was cheap. You were broke. You were poor. You didn't have the connections,
yeah.
and how quickly within 10 to 15 years that changed to no, that's the standard now. I could sit here with this mic, record a song, edit it myself, and put it out there myself, and make them all of the money myself. As to back, let's say 15, 20 years ago, it was you had to go through the record label to make money, and the record label was taking your money
Yeah,
and leaving you fucking broke. And that's why you hear about so many artists like Eazy-E who
yeah,
go broke because And early NWA, they went broke because they didn't realize that yes, they're getting the studio time, but they were paying for it out
Yeah,
of their end.
yeah,
So a lot of these artists would get fucked. That's why you don't hear of a lot of artists from the early '90s still
yeah.
around anymore because they honestly got
Exactly.
fucked out of their music.
Exactly, exactly. That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. So, like Chris said, there's now many ways to make money within the music industry. It's not just you record music, you put an album out, and that's it. But one thing I will say about today's artist is that wasn't the case back then or many years ago. Is that nowadays the artist doesn't have uh like media training, because media training, the label used to like make sure you go through media training and stuff
Yeah,
like that, right? So now artists, like, they just say, basically the young artists, they just say whatever they want, and then for some reasons unbeknownst to them, they face backlash for it, right?
yes.
So
I
it,
was just about to say there's a yin and a yang to that.
yeah,
There's that the good is okay. You don't have to have somebody telling you how to act, how to do that. But at the same token is now you're on your own. Anything you say, you are liable for. You know, so
exactly,
it's kind of a yin and a yang.
yeah,
But like there's certain artists that and this goes to where I think the media training is still kind of needed
yeah,
because you'll see artists go on podcasts like No Jumper, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
rappers will go on there and they don't know what to talk about. They don't know how to present themselves. They sit there and they're like, yeah,
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 yeah, and it's like there's no charisma, and it's like how are you this fucking artist selling out concerts and selling out shows, and then when they put a camera in front of you and a microphone, you're fucking blank.
I know, that's true,
That's where
that's true.
I think that's where some of those old school record label strategies
Yeah,
should still be in play.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And that's why most artists for look for deals still, but they look for more of it to be like a partnership, not you're actually signed to the label, but you have a
Exactly.
partnership in which they help you with certain things, but it's
Yeah.
not actually a
Like
record deal.
you'll
It's
sign a
more like
contract now not to be part of a label. Like say let's go with Rockefeller, right? We'll go with
yeah,
Rockefeller. Now instead of Chris Rex signing to Rockefeller, no,
yeah,
I'm independent, but Rockefeller is my distributor. I have a
exactly,
distribution deal. You know what I mean?
exactly,
So
exactly.
again, I think in some senses, the way business is done in the music industry now is a lot better for the artists as when it comes to
Yeah,
money and honestly the protection of their music. You
yeah,
know, back then, record labels owned your shit. I
yeah,
remember hearing a story of when Nas met Prince.
yeah,
Um, Prince loved Nas, and Nas wanted to do a song with Prince.
right,
And Prince straight up told him, "No, I won't do it unless you own your masters."
right, right,
And
right.
at first, Nas took offense to that, like this dude's trying to big league me. Then
Yeah,
he thought about it and said, "No, because then we don't make the money off our music. The
the
label owns
label
it.
does.
We don't own it exactly."
Exactly, exactly, exactly. That's
And
exactly
at that
right.
time, it wasn't like Nas was just some little underground artist. Still, like he was blowed
Nah, he
up,
was huge.
and Prince was still like, "Nah, you don't own your masters. I'm not doing a track with you."
Yeah, you see, that was actually pretty smart. You know what? I give Prince credit for this. He was one of the smartest artists out there, like already. Like he was before his time. I believe that's what I believe. I believe that Prince was before his time, and he was one of the most intelligent artists out there. Because nobody was talking about things like owning masters and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
They
owning
do it.
masters. Not only that is like not only owning the masters, but having your own label, setting up your own
Right,
distribution deals. You know what I mean? Having your
right.
own connections rather than having to go through this label, which is really what the label is. Is it's just a stronghold on you. It's okay.
Yeah.
We have these connections that you can use, but in order for you to use these connections, we own your ass.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And
That's
you're
exactly.
contractually obligated for X amount of years for X amount of albums. And if you don't produce, let's say it's a 10 album deal, you don't
Yeah.
produce those 10 albums, you only produce five. Guess what? You owe the label money now
Exactly.
for not,
Exactly.
you know, and That I've always found that ridiculous. What's funny about record contracts is, and this will kind of go into rock, is
Yeah.
Motley Crue. They were on Elektra Records,
Yes.
and they were one of the first bands besides the Beatles to actually get their own their music.
Yeah.
They wanted out of their deal. They realized they were getting fucked in their deal with Elektra. They
Yeah.
wanted out of their deal. And they when they spoke to Elektra, they said, "Well, we want to own our masters."
Yeah.
And the record label Elektra's response to them was, "How? The Beatles don't even own their masters." And Nikki Sixx goes, "Well, they fucking should." And
Yeah.
let me tell you, they caused so much havoc for the record label that they had no choice but to release them from the label and you fucking have them own their masters. Now,
Wow.
now if you look at if you look at the stats on albums or even on iTunes, you'll
Yeah.
see it's now Motley Crue Records or Crue Records or something like
Nice.
that. You know,
Yeah.
it's not Elektra.
I know.
So they own their shit now, and the fact that they had the balls to like do that, to be like, well, no, we want to own our masters. The Beatles don't even do it. Kind of saying like, how if the Beatles didn't do it, how can you do it?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's fucking fucked up because the Beatles should own their fucking music.
Yeah, they should.
And I mean, they did whatever they could to get the fuck off the label, and they did it, and they got what they fucking wanted. And now they're probably making more money than they probably ever would with being with that label.
Right. Wow. Okay. I actually didn't know that story. So yeah, I'm actually
Yeah,
learning.
if you watch on Netflix, there's like a not I don't want to say documentary, but it's like a biopic. There we go, a biopic on Motley Crue called The Dirt. Go out your way, even if you're not into rock music, which I know you are. But even if those fans out there that aren't into rock music, go and check that out because one, I mean the fucking lifestyle Motley Crue fucking lived, bro. Like when you think of rock star lifestyle, I mean that was fucking Motley Crue. All right. Their former band manager, their band manager, okay, had managed Kiss, had managed pretty much a who's who of rock and roll, and in his own words said, and none of them compared to the shit I had to deal with Motley Crue. But you also learn a lot about the music industry, being on the road, and I think it's a good movie to check out. Whether you're a rock fan or not, if you're a fan of the music industry, that is a great film to go check out because they kind of you see how getting signed to a label and then having to deal with the demands of the label.
Right.
And then you throw in drug addiction, alcoholism, the constant partying, and all that just balls up. And you really see why these artists, like, just want to sometimes just get away from this shit. You know?
Exactly.
Like, you'll see, like, an artist that hasn't rapped since 2003. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's so fucking stressed out from this shit.
I know.
That he doesn't want to be in the public eye anymore, you know? And it really makes you understand bands and the music industry a lot more. So for those out there, go check it out on Netflix, The Dirt. It's been out for a couple of years, and that's actually the movie that did two things for me. That movie started my podcast, Motley Metal.
Okay.
And came up with this whole gimmick of this rock star gimmick because I was like, that's fucking badass. And then like I've always been attracted to that rock star lifestyle, like sex, drugs, rock and roll. That me, man. Like I'll be perfectly honest, that's me. And I've always been attracted to that lifestyle. And you see a lot of not to get too much off subject, but a lot of wrestlers out there will they'll pull off that gimmick that I'm a rock star, I'm a this. But I'll be the first one to tell you, motherfucker, I lived that shit, okay? If you ask anyone from the fucking New York scene about Chris Rexon from 2011 to 2014, they'll tell you, this motherfucker was fucking high at every show. This motherfucker was sniffing coke. Like, no, that's my fucking real list. So it ain't no motherfucking But that movie is what kind of made me be like, you know what? That's me. That's who I really am. I'm going to fucking bring that out now. Whether you love it or you hate it, I'm going to fucking show that this is me. I'm a fucking real life fucking rock star without the money.
Without the money. Yeah. All right. So, just to switch to the rap side, if you don't mind, a little bit.
Go right ahead.
So, speaking of Dr. Dre, there's other news regarding more of his involvement in music. One of his I'm gonna say former artists now because he's no longer associated with Shady Records or Aftermath, but they're still very close friends. So one of his former artists, Mr. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, is going to get back into the studio with Dr. Dre and Eminem as well. So
yes, I heard about that. Yeah.
yeah. So he told fans to expect new music from him in 2023, and I think it will happen this time because he said it many times in the past.
I'm still waiting for that Detox album. Bro, they said it in 2002. They said it in 2005. They said it in 2000. I'm still waiting for this Detox album, bro.
I think we mentioned Eazy-E and everybody. So the movie Compton came out with a soundtrack, right?
Yes.
So the Compton soundtrack I think, is basically what Detox was supposed to be.
You know, it's funny you say that.
On there, yeah.
Because when that album came out, when that soundtrack came out, I heard that this was kind of what Detox was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that. Now, something me and you have in common is I'm a fucking huge fan of 50 Cent, bro.
Yeah,
huge fan.
Yes. Yeah, that's my guy.
I mean, when he dropped that Get Rich or Die Trying album, bro. Yeah. Listen, that man had me rocking do-rags.
You're rocking, for people who can't see, you're rocking a do-rag right now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm rocking a bandana right now, but that man had me rocking do-rags, had me getting Caesar cuts. And
exactly.
But another thing that 50 Cent had mentioned in that same post is, in that same interview, is that we have an 8 Mile TV series coming.
Aha! Yes. And I actually forgot to mention that, but yes, it's good.
Bro, 8 Mile, bro. Let me tell you. I'm sorry if you are I'm not one like trying to get racial or anything, but if you are a white boy that has ever attempted to rap, 8 Mile is your fucking movie.
It was definitely my
right here, bro. 2007. My ass was trying to be a rapper, all right? I came close. I came close to getting signed to a deal, but I mean, 8 Mile for any fucking white boy that was trying to rap, man, that I must have watched that movie when it dropped. Well, it came out in like 2002, 2003, I think it came out.
I think so, yeah.
I was like 12, 13. I must have watched that movie on a bootleg tape. The bootleg tape didn't even say 8 Mile on it. It said 8 Miles.
Oh, God.
And I used to watch that bootleg tape probably day after day after day. I mean, there's just something that linked me to Eminem. That even as a young kid, that there was just this link. And I guess maybe it's the bullying that he went through. And you know what it is a lot of rappers I really couldn't relate to. You know, yes. I really couldn't relate to Nas. I mean, some of the stuff, yes.
Yes.
But as a general, that I can honestly say that music really wasn't made for me. You know, I didn't grow up really in that environment too much. But now, here comes Eminem around 96, 97. I'm 7 years old at this time. I probably shouldn't even be listening to his fucking music. And
I started listening to it at 8 years old. 8 years old, right?
So you hear about this guy, man, that has no problem, like, saying he's a loser. And that's something like a rapper never does. A rapper is supposed to be cocky and egotistical, and I'm better than. And here's this fucking guy telling you, like, I'm a loser. I was fucking homeless. I was in this, like, whoa, bro, like, that's fucking real, you know. And as a kid that was bullied, you know, Eminem, again, helped me get through middle school and fucking high school, bro. Like,
me too.
So to hear that an 8 Mile series is coming out, I'm skeptical on it. Because a lot of movies that get adapted to series, it's never as good, man. It's never as good.
I will tell you this. When 50 Cent first got into the TV and film industries, right? Everybody was skeptical about him being there. Yeah. But I will tell you this. He hasn't had a show that has failed not one time yet.
Yeah. I mean, he did what? He's got Power, BMF, and the 8 Mile. He's got the Power spin-offs.
Yep.
No, I was skeptical when 50 got into the film industry too and the TV industry too, because I was like, oh man, like yeah, what's he gonna try to fucking put out there, right?
Yeah.
And he produced bangers, so that's why part of me is skeptical on it, but part of me feels like it's in good hands because it's someone who knows M.
Exactly.
Producing it. Someone that worked with M, that was signed to M's label, that M signed. You know, so it's like, okay, maybe the series is in good hands. But the main thing that really makes me skeptical is who's going to portray B Rabbit? Who's going to portray these characters now? Because we've seen Eminem, which 8 Mile is a slight play on Eminem's life. You know, it's not totally a true story, but it's not a total fictional story either. So having Eminem play himself in the movie, pretty much, now who's going to play Eminem, and are they going to live up to the role that Eminem played as himself?
Well, it's going to be fun to see who plays that role. It's going to be fun, really, really fun. And he said like he's going to try to portray him as a child and his younger years as well, right? So you're right. I'm wondering who's going to portray
and how much of Eminem's real life is going to be part of this series, because the movie was 2 hours and it was pretty much about the battle rap scene, and you probably pretty much end off with like an open ending of you don't know what happens to B Rabbit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're going to explore before that happens. How much of M's real life is going to be part of that? That's what I'm interested in. Is the issues with his mother going to be involved in it? Is the you know, issues with his father going to be a part of that? You know, how much of his actual life is going to be in it? And is Eminem going to be a producer? That's a big question I have.
Maybe. I think so too, because I think that 50 is gonna want M's input on everything to do with this series, right? So I think so. I think he'll be.
I mean, I would feel if someone was making a series pretty much based on my life, right? I mean, we can sit there and say 8 Mile was pretty much based on his life. I would want to have some sort of input in that to make sure, okay, yes, it's TV, yes, it's fictional, but if we're gonna talk about the B Rabbit character, which is essentially Eminem, you have to kind of throw some elements of real life into there.
Right, exactly.
The drug addiction, you know, I mean, he was on drugs at an early fucking age. His mom was feeding him drugs, you know. So
exactly.
Is all of this going to be a part of it, or are they going to come up with their own little backstory?
To be honest, I hope it's as realistic as possible. I hope.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think 50 and M will make sure this goes off without a hitch either way, right? So.
Yeah,
it's gonna.
I think it's in good hands. I think what it really comes down to is the acting, and again, that if 50 and M are a part of this, you know they're gonna choose people who all right, you're gonna fucking play this role. Another series, it's gonna be coming back. The Wu-Tang is coming back for their final series.
Yes, sir. I love that show too. I love that show too. They do a great job.
I was hooked on it. I was so hooked on it, and
the director Yves Rivera is a very good director who's directing the series.
I am so surprised at how well it was pulled off. I mean, from the characters, like really sounding and looking like like Wu-Tang members when they were just starting out. Dave East playing Method Man.
Dave East
sounds just like fucking Method Man, bro.
Yes, sir. Dave East is my boy.
The dude that plays ODB. Yep. Spot on, bro. Spot on.
Yep.
I can't wait for that series. I believe, what is it, February 18th, I think it is?
I think so, yes.
I think it's February 18th it comes back. I actually applied for a casting call for it, for the Wu-Tang series.
You did?
Funny story is this. Let me tell you. I'm gonna kind of go to a little darker subject, just for a little bit.
It's okay.
When you deal with anxiety and depression, sometimes you self-doubt yourself. So I seen this thing that they were casting for Wu-Tang and everything, and I was like, let me just kind of throw my name in the hat. What's the worst that can happen, right? They don't fucking respond to me.
Yeah.
Well, I did get a fucking response from them, and my anxiety acted up, and I kiboshed it. I did not do it.
Damn.
They wanted to do like a Zoom audition,
Yeah.
and I was just so scared, and I was just like, I'm not an actor. What like, and
You started
I
doubting
totally
yourself.
fucking blew it, bro. Like,
Oh man.
I
It's
blew it
okay.
off, and I was like, fuck it, man.
Alright. Well, if that opportunity comes up again, let me know because I'll fill you with confidence, man. You can do it. You can do it.
Well, I appreciate that, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, Wu-Tang has if you notice, Wu-Tang now really they've been doing some different things when it comes to the sales of their albums now. Like
Yeah.
they're selling at like high class auctions.
Yep.
I mean, selling unreleased music at these auctions and like I mean for buku bucks.
Yeah. Wow. So.
Yeah. Actually the music store scenes
Yeah.
are filmed in Elmwood Park, New Jersey.
That's where our producer is from, Mr. Roberts. That's where Mr.
So
Roberts.
I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being from Brooklyn, and also I used to work at Staten Island. I used to chill out in Staten Island to see them on the ferry, and then to see all. I'm like, whoa, bro, like this is hitting home for me, bro. Again, that series is phenomenal. I honestly hate that it's ending.
I know, me too. I hate when those
But it is to conclude a story of how they came together.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember the episode when they actually recorded Protect Your Neck. I mean, no, not Protect Your Neck. Cash Rules Everything Around Me.
I did see that. Yes, I did see that.
Bro,
Yeah.
I had goosebumps when as that scene was happening. I was like, oh man, like whoa, like this is it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and how, like, I didn't know. And even though I'm, from New York and I'm a fan of Wu-Tang, I didn't know they were all beefing at with each other.
I think they were.
Like,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird how it's weird how when you beef and then you come together, it's just weird how that happens. Like,
Well,
it's weird.
it's funny because that seems to be like a New York thing. Like me, my best friend in middle school, I met because we were about to fuck each other up. Like legit. I was fucking with him, and he got tired of it. He stepped up to me. I was like, "Yo, take your shot, homie." And I stepped up. I got in his face. Luckily, no blows were thrown. Like security got like right before we were about to throw blows.
Yeah.
And like we became friends all over. We went to the dean's office and we became friends over fucking your WWE magazine.
Breaking news!
We were literally about to go fucking kill each other.
Breaking news from our producer. What happened?
Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of Elvis Presley, dies at the age of 54.
No fucking way.
Whoa.
Just broke on ABC 7 here in New York.
Oh shit. Oh right. Whoa.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Whoa.
Damn.
54 years old.
Shit.
Some kind of medical condition. They're not giving the release what it was.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah. So,
All right, so I guess we gotta.
Before we give our RIPs, so 2023 has already been filled with a lot of I'm gonna say surprising things happening already in terms of like I'm gonna say this, but people dying and stuff like that. So I just off the music side a little bit. I just want people to take care of themselves, eat healthy, exercise, and detox if you have to, because to be honest, the foods that are out here aren't really genetically modified foods aren't really good for any of us. They're not actually supposed to be in human beings. So yeah, just it's important to take care of yourself, take some time for yourself, detox whenever you can, and yeah, just take care of yourself. Check on the people around you, your friends, family, and everyone, and make sure everyone's okay. All right, because there are a lot of surprising,
a lot of early and very untimely deaths.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of legends, man, in music, movies. But like Costa said, take care of yourself, your mental well-being, your physical well-being. Me at 32 years old, I'm starting to realize this and how important like that really is. And I think it's funny when you brought up the foods, because even myself, like I'm like one of those skinny fat people. Like I'll eat fucking Burger King like fucking 7 days a week
I
and
know.
have no fucking problem, and
Yeah.
but now it's like I'm more into the home cooked foods. I cut out soda out of my life. I drink water, iced tea, juice. Which even juice isn't fucking good for you. But yeah, people out there, please take care of yourself mentally, physically. You want to be around for the long haul. You don't want to. You don't want to, be gone at 70. You want to be gone at fucking 105, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
But all this comes up because as we are actually talking about all this stuff, some news broke that the daughter of Elvis Presley, Lisa Marie Presley, suffered in a medical emergency. The exact details have not been discovered yet, but it's a suspected cardiac arrest. She died at the age of 54.
Oh wow, that's super young, man. Wow.
I mean,
That's crazy.
like it really, like you said, not to kind of put things in a dark note here, but it really puts things in perspective of how short life really is.
Exactly.
I used to think 50 was old, bro. Like I did, and I'm starting to realize, like, bro, like, no, that's way too young. Like my pops died in his 60s, and I was like, wow, like, and I used to think. Like I used to think my dad was like young, like really, really young, and he looked young. Like I didn't know my father's age until I was about like maybe 12 years old.
Really?
Like I always thought like he was just this young guy, because he always looked young and took care of himself. And like he died at 65.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
it really puts things in perspective for you that you want to be here for the long haul. You want to be here for the kids. Even if you don't have children like me. I got nieces and nephews.
Exactly.
Man, I don't want to be 40, 50 going out, bro. That's 20 years, bro. For me, that's 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you mean to tell me that I only got 20 years? Nah, like,
Yeah.
so it really, I mean, my condolences to the Presley family.
Yeah.
I know that they're going through some tough times. It's losing a child, losing a sister, a brother, a mother, losing any type of family member, a friend. It hits you in a different way, man. And I know exactly how they're feeling right now. With the loss of Lisa Marie. And again, our condolences here on the Rock and Rap Connection go out to Lisa Marie, and I hope that this was not like I don't want to say, because all deaths are negative, but more of kind of a natural thing rather than something else.
Because of something.
They're saying it's a suspected cardiac arrest, which that does happen. But sometimes cardiac arrests can be due to other things. So I really hope it was more of a medical thing and not anything else going on in her life.
Exactly.
Again, condolences go out. I really don't even know what to say right now, man. Like,
Yeah,
my heart,
me
like,
neither.
when we
That's
just
why-
got that news, my heart just sank, man.
Exactly.
Shit,
Exactly.
man.
But
Let's pick it up, Costa. Let's pick it up, and
all right.
let's discuss. Because this is the first time we're actually like doing this together. This is,
Together,
and
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let you. This is the first time me and him are actually having a full length conversation like this.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I know when we first had met, I had asked you your top 5 rap.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm gonna switch it up now.
Okay.
Because on the Rock and Rap Connection here, you're more of the rap, I'm more of the rock. We're gonna switch it up here.
Okay.
Top 5 rock bands.
Oh man, I only know. Okay, see, that's the thing. I only know of a few, right? So I'm gonna say who I mentioned before, and I'll give you my top 3.
Okay.
Right. So first off, it's probably Linkin Park, and then second would be Nirvana, and third would be, I would say, Aerosmith. Honestly speaking.
All right.
The other two, I don't you know what? Oh man, I don't even. Does Rage Against the Machine count?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that would be 4, and then probably the Foo Fighters. I'd say the Foo Fighters.
Woo! Fucking Foo Fighters, yeah. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, man.
Ah,
You know-
okay. Our producer is back, so thanks, Carl.
Awesome. Foo Fighters. You don't hear too many of that in people's top 5. You know,
I know.
Even with me, like I listen to a lot of Foo Fighters, and as much as I listen to Foo Fighters, like they're like maybe top 10. You know, they're in the 10. They're in the 10, but I wouldn't say top 5.
Okay.
For me, I would say number 1 for me is always going to be Motley Crue. Always
Okay.
going to be Motley Crue.
Okay.
2, Guns N' Roses.
Ah, yes.
Now this one right here is because my metalheads out there are gonna be mad I even put them in this position. Okay,
Okay.
Metallica's number 3 for me.
Ooh, okay. I know
Metallica's number 3.
That probably be mad about that. Yeah.
Most metalheads will put like Metallica as 1 or 2. No, it's number 3 for me because I'm more into the Motley Crue and
Yeah.
But let's see, that's 3, 4. Let's go with Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
And for 5, top 5. Nirvana. I'll go with Nirvana on
Nirvana,
that.
yeah.
I had to think about that one.
Top 5 is tough, man. Top 5 is tough. So
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It kind of puts you on the spot there. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
what are my favorite bands here? Is that really my favorite band? Like,
Exactly.
I'll tell you, that was a little bit of a toss up there. You also mentioned Rage Against the Machine. Man, I love them. I loved Rage Against
love
the
them
Machine.
too.
I love the message that they brought. And when I was a kid, I used to think that the D-Generation X theme was made by Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. I thought so too. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I thought so too. You're right. I don't know why.
For the longest, I was like, yo, that's Rage Against the Machine. And I found out it's the Chris Warren band. And I'm like, oh shit, it wasn't even Rage Against the Machine? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl, if you want to go to a commercial now, we could do that.
Yeah, we can do a commercial now, and then we'll come back and continue discussion. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, folks, this is Carl from the ATR Network. Just want to let you know we have a brand new sponsor. It's Doobie Energy. All your energy drinks with no jitters and no crash. Check this out. See you next time.
Oh, and we're back. But before Chris comes back, I'm gonna let you guys know, because I know Chris mentioned that I mentioned the top 5 in rap, right?
Jesus
So
Christ, what the
I'm gonna give you guys my top 5 when it comes to
All right.
hip hop, right? So I try to split my top 5 into like different eras. So I'm gonna say this. Number 5 would be. So let's go with number 5. Number 5 would be 50 Cent is number 5. Number 4 would be Nas. Nas is 4th. Number 3 would be Eminem. And number 2 would be Biggie. And number 1 would be Tupac. Now, people
Woo!
always tell me, how do you know Tupac and Biggie are your number one and two, like favorite number one and two rappers? The reason the what I tell them is, um, I am a hip hop, um, basically a hip hop historian. So even though Tupac and Biggie are deceased, obviously, um, I always go back and I listen to their music. And what I'm gonna tell you now is Tupac and Biggie, even in this era, in this day and age, would be two of the most successful rappers in this day and age if they were here today. They would
100%
still
right.
be two of the most successful rappers.
No, 100% right. They were, I think they were kind of like that last era of storytellers.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it kind of seems like after Tupac and Biggie died, there was like this void in hip hop.
yeah.
And the what filled that void was money, cash, hoes, bling, bling. You know, I mean, that's what filled that void.
Yeah,
And
exactly, exactly. That's true. That's true.
I'll tell you, even though I'm from Brooklyn, New York, I put Tupac over Biggie.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
the
agree.
reason for that is um Pac's delivery. Now Biggie did sound like he was speaking to you, but Pac's delivery really felt like he was in front. Like you could close your eyes and you could picture Tupac in front of you saying these words.
Yep.
The stories he told, the content he talked about.
Yep.
Yes, Biggie told a story, but I felt Tupac's stories had more meaning than
Exactly.
Biggie's stories.
Like the song "Brenda Had a Baby."
Bro,
Like
that's exactly
nobody
what
was
just hit
following
my
those
head, bro.
concepts. Yeah. Yeah.
That song, nobody was talking about that shit.
Nobody.
Trapped.
Yep.
Trapped is another one of my favorite Tupac songs.
Yep.
Five Deadly Venoms.
Oh man.
Soldier Story. I mean,
Name everything, man. Name everything.
bro, Tupac is always that bar.
Yeah.
And like I said, after they died, it's like hip hop. Yeah, I'm not gonna say hip hop took the downfall, but it kind of started that where it was like, okay, there's nothing to talk about. Okay,
Yeah.
how many more times can I hear the same person tell me that they got fucking millions of dollars and an Escalade and bitches all over the place? And how many times can you tell me that on an album? If you
Yeah.
have a 12-track album and 10 of those tracks are about partying and there's no essence to it.
I know there's no substance
You
to
know,
it.
and at the
There
same
was no
time, it's
substance to
like
it for a while.
I
Yeah.
need to hear at least some story that relates to me. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's like to be rich. I don't know what it's like to ride in a Mercedes Benz. I don't know what it's like to have all these bitches around me. Like, I don't know that lifestyle.
Yeah.
The lifestyle I know is being a broke kid from Brooklyn, where his father's trying to fucking make ends meet, you know, and like that's shit, and that's why I kind of more relate to Tupac and Biggie than more of these modern day rappers.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was another one. Jay-Z was another one that he told stories. Hard Knock Life, when he dropped
Yeah.
Hard Knock Life, bro. That was the like New York ghetto anthem right there.
Yeah.
We have who else?
And
yeah,
that's why actually sorry to interrupt you, man.
No,
But,
go ahead.
That's why I actually put like 50 Cent in my top 5 because he's one of the other rappers that brought substance into music. The reason why I say substance is because people think that it's all the same thing that he's talking about, but these are things that actually happened around him
Yeah.
and to him. So
Yes.
he's bringing his real life story into his music.
You know, you just hit the nail on the head right there. And what it is the realism is what's missing, and that's why I can't really listen to hip hop these days.
Yeah.
Is because like the things they talk about, I can't believe that they really did that. You know what I mean? I can't believe that. All right, so you mean to tell me your whole life you've been selling drugs and you've had money your whole life, that's what it's been.
Yeah.
But with 50 Cent, it's like you could tell it was authentic. In that article, I mean not that article, but the little write up I shared with you about how he was the first rapper that was like had a record deal, but was beefing with street dudes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
not other rappers. He's beefing with like real gangsters and
Real
fucking
street
shit, bro.
dudes. Like Kenneth the Supreme McGriff and all those
Yeah,
guys.
bro, Supreme.
Those guys are real.
I mean, when he dropped How to Rob,
How to rob. Yeah, crazy. I love
that song put him on the map, bro, because he's sitting there talking about going up and robbing Fat Joe and robbing Jay-Z and robbing this person. And it's like, whoa, like you have to have some real balls. And not only do you have to have balls to say that on a track, but to be able to walk around in the street still and pop that shit. I mean, motherfucker got shot 9 times, came out and made a record. Yo, like, motherfucker fucking was signed to Columbia. He got shot, they dropped him, and came around, and he became the fucking one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yep, exactly.
And you have to think, had he not gotten shot, would he be the man we see today?
Oh, definitely. I still, you know what? Not to like sound like I'm a D writer here, but yeah, I think he would definitely be
where he's at today.
Yeah, I think so. But the thing is, you know what it is? People say him getting shot changed his voice, right? It actually changed his voice. Mm-hmm. So maybe his lyrics wouldn't have the same impact like they do now if his voice didn't change because of getting shot. Maybe that would be the only difference. Maybe.
One of his lines in Many Men, and it's one of my favorite lines. It goes, "My jaw wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain."
Exactly.
You know, and it's like damn, bro, like that's some deep shit. Like when you really think about the lyrics that guys like 50 Cent, Biggie, Tupac, Eminem spit, when you actually fuck the beat, take away the beat, just listen to the words, and you're like, ooh, some deep shit. What is sunshine wouldn't be special if it wasn't for rain. Like, and it's like, yo, and it kind of pretty much saying like if all this shit didn't happen to me, like, you know,
it wouldn't be the same. Yeah, that's true.
It wouldn't be the same.
That's true.
But 50 Cent was that dude that like he kind of took that gangster life, and he did it, and I think honestly he did it before Dipset, was to take that gangster lifestyle and turn it into pop culture.
Yes, sir.
I think he did. I think he did it before, like maybe a year or two before Dipset, but he did. I think he did do it before Dipset.
Yeah, he did.
When he had the G Unit clothing line. Yep. He had a fucking video game. He had the fucking sneakers. And this motherfucker really took that guy. Like, yeah, Jay-Z had the clothing line and all that, but it really wasn't taking a gangster culture. Yeah. You know, this was taking like legit somebody that's sitting there talking about like, I'll fucking pop a 9 at you, and telling you, yo, go have your 12-year-old buy my T-shirt. You know,
exactly. That's it. That's the difference. That's how you know he was an influential pop culture icon. That's how you know.
Yeah. That's how you know. And that's the thing. It's 50. You can say what you want about him, but this man did things for hip hop that, like, if it wasn't for 50 getting a video game deal, the shoe deal, would all these other rappers have it? Would all these other rappers have these clothing deals and all? I think 50 Cent took that gangster lifestyle and made it so that the kids today can not only live that lifestyle, but, which I'm not saying that lifestyle is a good lifestyle to live. I've been down that road. But to profit from it.
Exactly. To know how to profit from it. Yeah.
And to profit from it in a
good
respectable way. Yeah, exactly.
In a good way. To make something of yourself, to create your own business ventures, everything like that, right?
Yeah. 100%, bro.
I agree with you 100%. And this is why we have Chris Carpenter here as a co-host, because he puts everything I want to say to people, he puts into perspective. Okay? So
man, you know what it is? It's more, you know, it's you cook it up and I serve it, bro. You cook it up, I serve it to them. Exactly. You know.
Exactly.
Or you know.
Yep. So what else? do you have anything else you want to get into right now, or?
Well, you know what? I just pulled these out the rack here.
Okay.
I figured I'll share with you guys some of my personal record collection. And when I say record collection, I'm not talking about CDs.
Okay.
I'm talking. All right,
Vinyl.
vinyl fucking records, bro. I mean, Motley Crue's first album right here,
Yeah.
Too Fast for Love.
Wow.
Just to show you guys, I'm not bullshitting you guys on this record here, or is it Is it already in the record player? It might already be in the record. Yeah. Oh no, it's right here. It's back in the day. Here's how grown folks used to listen to music. You know, on these little things here.
Yep.
You got two sides. You flipped it over. Let me tell you, I've been getting into collecting these records ever since my brother bought me this Ventrola record player.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got the Motley Crue. We were just talking about Nirvana.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy. That, you know what? I need to get into. Speaking of collecting records, I actually need to get a record player. And I need to start collecting records.
This record player I have here. Let me. I can't show it right now. Camera won't reach. But I've got it's called. It's from the company Victrola. They have a bunch of different versions of it. I have one that kind of looks like it looks like a 70s version record player. But no, get into it, bro. I'm scared to start getting into the hip hop collection.
Why are you scared? Why do you say that?
Because I won't have any room in my room anymore.
Yeah. I'd be the same way too. You're right.
Like I started. My brother started me off with the rock. Like I said, we got the Nirvana. I have legit every Motley Crue album. Dr.
Nice.
Feelgood right here.
Nice.
But I'm scared to get into the hip hop because originally, like growing up, before I even got into rock, like I always listened to classic rock and stuff, but before I got into rock, I was a heavy hip hop head, and like to sit there and think back, okay, you got Mobb Deep.
Yep,
You got let's talk about Biggie, Tupac, Nas, Big L. To go back and find those records, one, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
And two, I mean, I'm gonna wind up having fucking crates of records all through my fucking room.
I know.
But no, I think it's a good hobby to get into collecting records.
Yeah.
And then even when you sit back, like that record sound when you put the pin on and you hear that scratch.
Yeah.
It's just like music to my ears. I legit have my 6-year-old nephew in here, probably over the summer, and he listened to every Motley Crue album with me.
Really? Oh,
now,
wow.
This kid's 6 years old, okay, and now he's a fan of Motley Crue. He's a fan of Nirvana, Ozzy Osbourne.
Wow.
I mean, speaking of Ozzy, right here. Oh, wrong album. Diary of a Madman.
Wow.
And I'll tell you a nice little spot where I get mine from.
Yeah.
It's a store out here in the States in Gloucester, Virginia, and it's called Mullets and More Retro Store. It's owned by pro wrestler Preston Quinn, who is part owner of now the I think it's Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Federation out there. Upstart company, but yeah, he owns a retro shop. So anything 80s, 90s, 70s. I'll actually link it to you after the show. I'll send you a link. But yeah, I mean, he's my go-to guy. My brother, I linked him up with my brother. My brother buys fucking Transformers from him like buku bucks on fucking Transformers.
Really?
Yeah. My brother has so many Transformers now, he don't know what to fucking do with them.
Oh,
And me, man. I got into the records and shit, so. I mean, it's a good hobby to get into, and like I said, it's not like a hobby where you buy the record, you put it away, you never fucking see it again. It's a hobby to where you can actually fucking sit there and use these and
enjoy it. Yeah.
Another reason I'm scared to get into the hip hop records, I'm gonna get into DJing. I know it.
DJing?
I'm gonna get into sampling and DJing, learning how to do all that shit, and because believe it or not, I was heavy into music production. In my high school, in Sheepshead Bay High School here in Brooklyn, I mean, not here, but in Brooklyn, New York, where I grew up, I was not part of the music program.
Okay.
But what I would do on my lunch break is I would go into the music class,
Yes.
and just learn and learn and learn. And I wound up building a portable studio, legit portable studio running Pro Tools and all that.
Oh, nice.
Um, so that when the bands did their concerts and the chorus did their concerts,
Yeah.
we can record it.
Oh, nice.
So like
Nice.
I built I helped the music teacher build the studio and everything. I was trying to go to Five Towns College, which is a big music production college in Long Island, New York.
Yes.
I because of the work I was doing for him on my own free time, he wrote a letter of recommendation for me.
Oh, wow.
I actually got into Five Towns College. I was
Oh,
accepted.
oh, wow.
Um, I've always been in music. I've played clarinet, flute, saxophone. So music has always been in my life. I've always
Yeah.
been musically inclined,
Yeah.
but I wanted to get into music production. Unfortunately, my my father's decision was, hey, if you're gonna waste my money, you might as well go to community college. So I wasted his money and I went to community college.
Oh,
Just
wow.
out of spite, but music production has always been my interest. Then again, that's why I'm scared to getting to this hip hop collection, because then I know I'm gonna get back into that mode of, okay, I'm gonna start producing music now. Okay, I can produce now. I'm gonna start writing again. Okay, I'm writing again. Now I'm gonna start putting out records again, and I'm gonna get back into that
Boss,
fucking motion.
but the thing is, I'm gonna discuss this with you more off the air, offline. But
Yeah.
I have a background in music, so like I actually work for a record label out here in Toronto, Canada.
Oh
So
shit.
if you ever wanted to get back into it, let me know, because I have
100%, man.
connections that can help you.
See, and I think that's great that we're both doing this show. Both people with more knowledge on the music industry,
Right.
on music production, on actually how this thing works. It's not like we're two random fucks just talking about music. We have the knowledge, we have the fucking experience. Like I said, I've played fucking everything from fucking clarinet to fucking piano, bro, and it's and you wouldn't think it. It's not something I brag about. It's not something I talk about. But it's like music has always been. I say, music is the essence of life.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree.
I had interviewed a member of a black metal band from Ireland,
Yeah.
and we were just shooting this shit about music. And we kind of ended the episode with the question of like wondering, where would we as humans be without music?
Nowhere, to me, nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, music is such a, like, I really can't think of a time like where I can say I didn't listen to music. Like from
Exactly. It's
the maybe when I
universal.
was born, but
It's universal. It's a universal language, as they say.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's what it's this universal language that you don't sometimes even have to know the language.
I know you don't
Like,
have
'cause
to know.
I listen, like, I'm Irish, Italian, Puerto Rican. My Spanish is very, very basic.
Okay.
Um, so when it comes to listening to like reggaeton or even Spanish rock music or Spanish metal,
Yeah.
like I pick up on some things,
Yeah.
but sometimes I could just sit there and it's like this instinct of knowing
Yeah.
what their mood is, what their,
Yeah.
and you feel that.
Yes.
And it's through the sound of their voice, through the music and the instruments playing. Like, I think music is the first drug for human beings.
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
you know what? That's where I'm gonna go out. Music is the first drug for human beings.
Okay.
I mean that thing fucking gets your serotonin.
Yeah.
It's
It does. It does. It does.
bro, it's and look, like, if it wasn't for music, we wouldn't be doing this. If it wasn't for music, like, I honestly don't know where I would have been in life, because it was such a huge role in my life, and so many of the people I'm around. My father played guitar.
Nice.
He bought one of his first guitars out in Germany when he was in the military.
Wow.
The man would do karaoke. Man does a fucking sick Elvis I'm sorry.
Impression?
Did a sick Elvis impression, and he would do karaoke and always do Elvis songs. Legit, when I was a baby, he would play Hotel California on the guitar and sing it to me till I
Oh.
went to
Oh,
sleep.
wow.
Like,
Oh, wow.
music is my life. Music and wrestling. It's my life.
Me too.
And,
Me too. See, that's another thing we have in common there. Music and
Yeah.
wrestling, the two most important things in both of our lives.
and I think,
And I'm being
honestly,
completely
I'll tell you honestly, without music, without wrestling, without marijuana, I wouldn't know anybody. Like all of my links, I can sit there and tell you every person I've met in my life. I can tell you whether it's directly linked to wrestling, music, or marijuana. Like everybody in my life is directly linked to either one of those, you know. And
Yes.
it's just crazy. Like sometimes when I'm in Brooklyn, I'll even be on the train. I'll have my headphones on,
Yeah.
and it's like you'll look at somebody, and you're kind of like, there's this telekinetic thing between
Yeah, you
you
know
and
how
that
they're
other.
gonna, yeah. You know how they're gonna.
Exactly. You know what? It's kind of like you're in that same vibe. Like they don't know what I'm listening to. I don't know what I'm listening to. But right now we're telekinetically like in this fucking moment
I got
together.
you. I got you. I understand. I understand. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you because the same thing happens to me, man. When I put my headphones on, I'm in a zone that that nobody can understand. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I honestly think that's a great way to kind of end this episode. You know.
Exactly.
I want to thank you for inviting me to join this podcast and
Hey.
having me on, and looking forward to going next week.
Yes, sir.
We'll see.
Yes, sir.
We'll see what the fuck we come up with next weekend.
Exactly. And I want to thank you personally for being here today. I think we have a great chemistry. I don't know how you feel.
Oh
I think we
yeah,
have a great chemistry.
we're on point, bro. We're on point here.
and,
We're on the same wave.
Exactly. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Whoever's gonna listen to this, thank you. We will be. Me and Chris will be back next week for all your music news and updates. Okay. So have a great night, guys, and we'll see you next week. Peace out, guys.